game where you can perhaps lose track of what you've been told in the dressing room, and your thoughts in the dressing room are often lost when you get out there. Significant point tonight, Bill Harrigan's the referee in this.
Yes.
We've appointed Bill to the game. It'll be of advantage, I think, to Great Britain that he's the referee, because he did referee over here, and in fact referee during the European Championship.
Well, the players now, as you can see, lining up for the national anthems. We're nearly there. It's almost kick-off time. Let's go to the Ericsson Stadium. British supporters in the stadium, it's great to see. Coming now, the New Zealand national anthem, and after that you'll hear your commentators Greg Clark and Brent Todd.
For the first of 3 tests. The Kiwis looking to turn the tables on Great Britain after the Lions won the 1990 3 Series 3-0. Sculthorpe, the second row for the Lions. 13 is Andy Farrell. He made his debut in '93 against New Zealand at Leeds and scored a try on debut. Fine footballer. Now the haka. The haka. Matthew Ridge on 123 points in test matches. He needs another 10 to pass the great Des White's New Zealand record in test points. The referee is Billy Harrigan. We haven't seen much of him in 1996. Opted to stay with Super League. Wasn't required for the Optus Cup, but now here he is back in the international arena. Bobby Goulding kicks off for the Lions. Ridge out to Pongia. And Brent Todd, there will be no love lost early on between these two countries.
Well, Great Britain will come out pretty fired up and look for them early on. And all my experience of playing against Great Britain, they always go with dirty tactics in the first 5-10 minutes just to upset the New Zealanders. But hopefully they will stick to their game plan, get nice quick play of the balls and get a roll and a good kick and chase.
Dirty tactics or vigorous tactics?
Well, vigorous then. Maybe not dirty, vigorous and tough, but
spoken like a true front rower.
They're quite well known for maybe putting their hands in your face and doing all those little things that upset front rowers.
Matthew Ridge, nowhere for the fullback to go. Thrown into the turf by O'Connor. Also in there was Betts. 7 from halfway. Now it's Jones. He gets the kick in. Spruce is back there. But no, it bounces towards the wing of Alan Hunt and over the touchline on the far side. The scrum will pack down 20 metres infield, 20 metres out from the Great Britain line. feet into the first scrum. Goulding takes it out. This is Radlinski.
And this is what New Zealand want now. They want to crack at the Great Britain side. Get those big forwards taken in. Watch for a few big hits from the New Zealand forwards. They'll be fired up early on.
Andy Farrell. 15 from halfway. Good defence by New Zealand. Well, Dwayne Mann is sidelined. Your thoughts of the opening sets, Dwayne?
Yes, I'd have to agree with you about Great Britain's tactics, and it's very important that both Quinton Pongia and Stephen Kearney don't react to them. Their game is much better controlled when they keep their discipline intact.
Final tackle on the way. Goulding gets a kick in over the head of Hoppy and into touch. First bounce. So another scrum. 20 out from the New Zealand line this time.
An important factor to this game is who does control the kicking game. It's very, very difficult to kick out of your territory, but the way the Kiwis are going, it's quite difficult in this wind. Whoever can get their long-distance kicking game going will come out with great rewards.
And Bobby Goulding is definitely a danger man out there. The first markers from the Kiwis have got to chase out. Try and put a bit of pressure on Bobby Goulding because he's a very dangerous little player. And let me tell you, he is a tough customer too. So anything the Kiwis throw at him, he will throw straight back in their face.
Plenty of Lions defenders in there on Tony Iro. 32 out from his own line. This time it's Kearney. He's been in wonderful form throughout 1996. Great series against Papua New Guinea. Sineru stealing 10 metres from dummy half. He makes it to halfway. And the first penalty of the match goes to New Zealand. Bit of push and shove in there as well.
Yes, that all come from Steve Kearney though. Just watch the way he plays the ball, nice and quick. Sineru gets in dummy half now. He's got good vision from dummy half, Sineru. He spots the markers are not there and sees they're inside the 10 and gets a good penalty.
Now it's Grant Young. Only his third test match, man of the match in his debut against Papua New Guinea. 31 metres out from the Lions line. Now it's Pongia. He had to stop to take that ball. Lost the momentum. Kearney will play it. Very waits for the dummy half.
This is a real physical test for the Kiwis because the games against Papua New Guinea have been quite easy. So this will be real physical.
Ridge injecting himself on the short side. Inside the Lions red zone. 19 metres out. Now it's Young taking them on. 3 Lions defenders in there to put him to ground. 0-0 the score, the first test. Big line-up out through the backs for New Zealand. Now it's Jones, a double round with Namu. He throws the dummy, gets it over to John Timu. Timu in a bit of space. Looked to pass. They wrapped him up just in time. Good tackle, Andy Farrell. There's the bomb. Who wants it? Off the uprights. Picked up in goal by Sullivan. But there was a knock on. And so Great Britain will get the handover. But good early pressure by the Kiwis.
Yes, the CRC replay shows Stacey Jones there, puts in a great kick. Really, the Great Britain players all stood around and watched it. Lucky not to get a try there, New Zealand.
10 out from the road line. Great Britain, hectic pace so far in this match as Farrell leads by example.
One thing about the Great Britain forwards, that they're all renowned for being good ball-playing forwards. They'll all look to offload. And guys like Bobby Goulding in the half start backing up. They could cause the Kiwis some problems.
Betts taken by Iro. Now it's Goulding. Ridge has to hurry back. And in the end, he has to pick the ball up. Got away from one, Matthew Ridge. He'll play it on the 20-metre mark. Good kick by Great Britain, forcing the Kiwis back.
And also a good chase by the Great Britain side as well. And really, your kick's non-existent if your chase is not there. That was a great chase. There were 7 or 8 players there, so it just shows how enthusiastic they are tonight.
Grant Young on the 30-metre mark. The night started well for New Zealand with the junior Kiwis beating the junior Lions by 35-14 after they led 11 points to 8 at half-time. So the junior Kiwis ran away with it in the second 40. Now it's Iro ranging wide. This is Barnett up over halfway. Again, a great tackle around the legs. Sculthorpe was the tackler. Now it's Jones. Inside it goes to Ridge. Ridge pops it out the back door. It's been touched by Great Britain. Back to one. Jones. Stacey Jones away from one. Trying to get it on the inside. Towed ahead by Kearney
keeping the ball alive. And this man here, Stacey Jones, if he gets into a gap, he's very dangerous because he's got so many off. The kick and chase, good little offload, but that one just not working for him.
I wonder if he realised that the tackle count had started again. Gilding. Geston Harris has a great step. Can't get away from Nambu this time. Radlinski. Now out to Farrell. Farrell got rid of Tyron Smith, who tried the shoulder charge. It didn't come off.
And already the Kiwis putting a lot of sting in their tackles, aren't they? That's what they need to do. They've got to muscle up and really stop Great Britain from getting a roll-off, because the Great Britain forwards hit the advantage line very well.
Now it's Betts. Ranging wide, almost to halfway. Powell at dummy half. Daryl Powell back to Betts. Betts and Powell, the two most experienced Great Britain lines. Powell in his 29th test. Betts in his 28th. There's a midfield bomb by Goulding. Ridge is back there waiting for it. Takes the tackle right in front of his uprights. Thrown into the turf by Powell. Hoppy.
Good work from Sean Hoppy there on that kick. Just see how he stood in front of Matthew Ridge, just to give him that little bit of protection. When your team is working together, it's a sign of a good side.
Richie Blackmore, taken by Cunningham. Now it's Young. Great contest so far, especially up front. 0-0 the score. Eru waits for it at dummy half. They go to the blind. Now it's Tyron Smith. Big night for the youngster. Signed for the North Queensland Cowboys. Namu gets the kick in. Spruce from the Bradford Bulls in his 4th test match. Anthony Sullivan. Territory so far going New Zealand's way, 62 to 38. The possession 52%, New Zealand 48 to Great Britain. Nothing much in it. Which will be the first side to crack the inside pass, doesn't come off. Stacey Jones cleans it up on the halfway mark for New Zealand.
And that is exactly what the Kiwis wanted, a mistake on the 4th tackle in their own half. Let's have a look on the CRC replay. Nice little double round, but just taking his eye off the ball. Good defence from Tony Iro.
Yes, this defence very strong. The players numbering up, not being sucked in by any dummies.
And a good run by Richard Barnett. Looking for quick yards from dummy half, and that is a penalty. They were not marking straight on. He was side on, the tackler.
Yes, the CRC replay say great play the ball from Richard Barnett. He's so dangerous and broken play, but that quick play of the ball, once again, Sidiru looking from dummy half, spotting it, getting a penalty.
And the first shot at goal coming up for Matthew Ridge. Terry O'Connor penalised for the infringement. O'Connor from the Wigan club, only his 2nd test match for Great Britain. A hectic pace as we look at the boys who haven't had a taste of it yet. Vangana, Wiki, Ellis and the new man, Logan Swan on the bench.
And what a bench it is, eh? A lot of class there.
Matthew Ridge. 123 points. He needs 10 points tonight to break the New Zealand record for the most number of points. It's there! New Zealand are off to a start on the scoreboard. The Kiwis 2, the Lions 0.
Yes, the Kiwis' defence has been very strong, but more importantly, the forwards have been finding easy yards and inroads up against this Great Britain defence. But I think the bomb could play an important part in this game, especially over to Richie Barnett's corner.
Just waiting for Matthew Ridge now to retrieve the football. I think both teams deliberately slowing things down here to get a breath.
Well, it's been at a hectic pace, hasn't it, in the first 10 minutes, and it's a good ploy from Matthew, just slowing things down, regather their thoughts, regather their breath. They're in the lead now, which is good.
The restart by New Zealand. Great to have you with us tonight on 2 Sports Action. Our coverage also on Sky B in Europe, and Foxtel across Australia. Nice to have you with us. Beautiful night in Auckland. Great conditions. And from what we can see or work out so far, it looks like being a pretty good opener to the 3-test series. Here's O'Connor. Good strong run. He's 5 from halfway.
And that's good work from the Great Britain side. Already 40 metres from their try line, worked it out well. Their forwards are working together well. Just hitting the advantage line. Nothing fancy at the moment. I think after about another 5 or so minutes, I think you'll see they might try and pop a few balls. Dennis Betts looking very dangerous on the blind side.
Looking at the tackles made stat there, Great Britain have had to make 47 to 39 by New Zealand. 10 metres inside the Kiwis' territory. Final tackle, Bobby Goulding going for the touchline and finding it. Good kick by the Great Britain halfback. Finds touch about 5 metres out from the New Zealand line.
Yes, he's a very dangerous player, Bobby Goulding. Really, they should have a marker chasing him, putting a lot more pressure on him, because he'll do that all day. When you're driving backwards like that, it's very tough to work it out.
That's great percentages with the wind behind Great Britain's back. Certainly putting these kicks into the corners or else finding touch. Certainly keep them in this game.
The Lions now looking to force a mistake on New Zealand. Hoppy has 3 defenders on top of him, right in front of the uprights, inside his red zone.
This is where the New Zealand forwards, especially the front rowers, Grant Young and co, have got to get in there and work hard, take that ball out, because this is where all the hard yards are done. Great Britain are moving up very quick off the line, aren't they?
Timu floating with that far touchline, managing to stay in the field of play. After a sloppy pass, previous play the ball, now it's Young. Pongia to Kearney, wide of the ruck, straight into his Warriors teammate Betts. Sculthorpe in there also, along with Yeston Harris. Lost ball. The referee looking to the touch judges for an indication. They're going to pack a scrum down. 5 metres inside New Zealand territory.
Well, let's just have a look on the CRC replay there. Steve Kearney's trying to get up for the play of the ball now. He was being held down, but I think that's pretty fair. He lost it. A good call from Bill Harrigan.
Goulding, Harris, now it's Powell, Sullivan. Handling errors, 2 to New Zealand, 1 to Great Britain. Early days yet. Ball control the key here tonight, and no real excuses for drop balls. Now it is Goulding allowed to run across the face of the ruck. He picks up Dennis Betts. He gets one out the back door, back to Goulding, to the front row board, Brett. The crowd thought it was forward play on as a call to Powell. Now it's Sullivan trying to get on the inside, trying to find some gaps. They're not there.
Well, they probably thought it was forward because it was forward. It was a good couple of feet.
Oh, big defence, and the ball rockets out of their grasp. And a chance out wide for the Kiwis, but Iro goes on his own. Now he links up with Jones stepping on the inside. For a moment it looked like New Zealand had numbers, but the Lions cover defence got across there. Pongia, the Canberra Raider, is 11 metres from halfway.
And that was a great hit there from Quinton Ponga and also his front row partner. And they are paving the way, really getting into the tough stuff out there.
Namu. Long ball out to Timu. And the former All Black is tackled on the halfway mark. Iro, inside pass to Ridge. They've left it on the ground. They'll play the knock-on. Looked to be a planned move using the inside pass.
Yeah, nice little face pass across the ruck here. You'll see Tony Iro. He is very dangerous, a very, very good ball player. Matthew just pushing it there on the third tackle and couldn't regather, Gene.
Alan Hutt from the St Helens Club.
Well, both teams have stated this week that they do want to play entertaining football, and as we've seen, willing to push the passes.
Radlinski! The gap soon closed. Sideru got across there, so did Ridge. Now, this is Paul Broadbent. Good, strong run by the front rower. Working themselves into very good field position now. The Great Britain Lions are down by 2 points to nil. Goulding the blind. Inside to Sullivan. Sullivan keeping it alive. Back to Cunningham. To Sculthorpe. And Sculthorpe is tackled. Real pressure on the New Zealand defensive line now. The Lions want to shift it wide. with it.
Great football from both sides. Desperation defence from the Kiwis and just exciting play from Great Britain. Let's have a look at that little passage again on the CRC replay. Great Britain desperate there on the last tackle, flinging it out, just didn't come off for them.
Now there's a penalty to New Zealand, and this will slow things down a little bit. Sets of 6, they've both completed 5 apiece. As New Zealand take a breather, they lead by 2-0. Namu kicking for the grandstand touch at Ericsson Stadium.
On the previous occasion, Dennis Betts taking the chance on his own to have a kick. Bobby Golding a little bit out of position, a little bit wide to put himself in play to launch a bomb.
So the Kiwis back inside Lions territory. Jones picks up Pongia. Namu shows it to Smith, gives it to Iro. Back to Barnett. Back in field. Taken by Harrison over the top was Powell. Kearney bounced out of one, still looking to offload, looking for the support. It didn't arrive. Ridge, he steals another 10 metres, almost in front of the uprights. 1 tackle remaining. 2-0, the Kiwis over the lines. Back to Namu, kicking, and it's too big. 2 points to 0. Be the Lions with the restart back on their 20-metre mark. Great Britain having to work it out of their own 20.
And really hanging on in defence, aren't they? New Zealand throwing everything at them. Great hit again from Grant Young, the big front rower. Having a tremendous game out there in the forwards. But Great Britain just able to escape that onslaught from New Zealand and looking so dangerous.
Betts to halfway. Good strong run. Missed tackles. Great Britain have fallen off 4 compared to New Zealand's 1. Kieran Cunningham from St Helens has also represented Wales. His 3rd test. Now it's Goulding. Midfield bomb. The chasers come down on Ridge. He takes it brilliantly. 10 out from his own line.
Wow, that was a sound catch from Matthew Ridge. Let's have a look on the CRC replay there. 3 or 4 Great Britain players pounding down on him, but he is as solid as ever.
Well, that's great stuff by Matthew. He is a fullback that likes to play up in the line on defence, and on that time, only the previous 2 tackles, he was right up there making them, and he got himself back in position to take that ball.
Yes, he's been in fine form for Manly and New Zealand. Now it's Namu. Iro wide. Blackmore, bit of room to move. Inside to Namu. Up over halfway. Now it's Jones. They've run out of support. But a few holes appearing in the Great Britain defensive line on that occasion. 10 inside the Lions territory. Ridge turns it on the inside to Timu. Timu allowed to pass it. No. Penalty to Great Britain. The referee called held. Timu went on with it. He's not happy about it.
Well, obviously John didn't hear the referee there. You see him taking the ball up. Now, is he held? Well, I'd question whether he is, but he obviously didn't hear the ref. He's gone on with the play. It's a frustrating time, that.
From the Kiwi bench warming up under Super League international rules. You can name 17 players and make 6 changes. Cunningham at dummy half. Now it's Broadbent, and the front rower gets it out the back door. It was touched by New Zealand. The tackle count resumes, and Farrell put the foot on the accelerator, tried to charge through the gap, but Timu had him around the legs. Great opportunity for the Lions now. Here's Powell. Picks up Bradlinski. And the young Wigan player is 10 metres out from the New Zealand line. They're down by 2 at the moment, the Lions. Harris having a dart on his own. Goulding wants it to the blind. Picks up Darryl Powell. Good defence by Kearney, and over the top was Ridge. Just a metre out. Sculthorpe to Goulding. Kicking across field. Hutt is there. He takes it brilliantly. A try to Great Britain. Alan Hutt has snatched the ball out of the grasp of Richard Barnett. And the Lions are in front in the first test. They lead by 4 points to 2.
Wow, we said that James Goulding was the danger man on the kick. Just have a look at this one. He places it beautifully. And Alan Hutt was waiting out there. I thought Richie Barnett had it, but Alan Hutt flew through the air and got it. What Great Britain are doing is they're moving New Zealand from one side of the field to the other. It's catching him out wide. Alan Hutt did that. Great kick from Goulding.
Yes, the bomb will play an important part there. We see Darryl Powell, physical player. Bobby Goulding, a great exponent of the bomb, and we'll see plenty of this. It's been used to a treat in the past where they bomb to the corners. Richie Barnett normally safe under this, but yeah, Alan Hutt really going up and contesting it.
Alan Hutt from the St Helens club. They won the championship in '96. So a bit of soul-searching going on in the New Zealand in-goal area. They didn't find themselves behind on the scoreboard against Papua New Guinea.
And I'm sure they won't be panicking, the New Zealand side, because really Great Britain, the only way they can break their line is with the kick. Their defence has been very, very good out there.
The distance and the angle for Bobby Goulding. He's been in great goal-kicking form on this tour. 48 points in the last 2 matches. The tests against Papua New Guinea and Fiji. So Great Britain lead New Zealand by 6 points to 2. One try to 0. Converted by Bobby Goulding. And it is Goulding with the restart. Ridge. Pongia. Taken by his opposite number, Terry O'Connor.
And I'm sure the Kiwis won't be panicking now. They would have just been told to stick to their game plan, work it out, get a good go forward and a good kick and chase, put Great Britain down near their own line. But this man here is very dangerous here. Tony Iro always looks to offload, just needs some support.
Now it's Kearney. Pongia.
Both sides looking very good on attack, and great yards from the Kiwis, rucking it out of their own quarter.
15 minutes remaining in the first half. Kimu! Had Barnett outside him, he couldn't get the pass away, and that'll be the handover.
Yeah, a bit of bad communication between the Kiwis there, not kicking on the last tackle. Really should be looking for that little kick in the end goal.
Possession and territory. Well, it's going Great Britain's way.
And I guess we can't be fooled by Bobby Goulding's supposed injuries. He's having a blinder. He came up with a play that put Matthew Ridge out of position to kick that ball.
Let's hope that Goulding is okay in back play. Certainly one of the stars of this series.
Well, let's hope that he's not okay.
I'm sure the fans of Great Britain will want to see more of his skills out there.
Yeah, he's a dangerous player. A tough little customer, isn't he?
And he's typical in the mould of these British halfbacks, certainly like Andy Gregory and his predecessors. Very stocky, very strong.
Harris gets the kick into the arms of Barnett. He got a good bounce, 10 out from his own line. He beat a couple of chasers. Good return of the football. Now It's Jones. Hoppy. Kearney. One out stuff.
This is where maybe the Kiwi wingers have to come in and get a little bit more involved, the back rowers, because the defence is dropping off a little bit in this last 10 minutes and they'll make good yardage.
Barnett on the angle run. The Lions defence read it well. Tibu has it now. He plays it 5 inside Great Britain territory. 6 points to 2 and Young has put it down. The knock on by New Zealand.
Well, that's exactly what Great Britain wanted. The CRC replay shows that Grant Young just couldn't control it. And right on halfway, Great Britain on attack.
Handling errors going New Zealand's way, 4-2. Going against New Zealand, in fact. Now it's Great Britain. Spruce up from fullback. That try has really given Great Britain plenty of confidence.
Yes, you see them in the tackles. They're fighting to get up and get that quick play of the ball, really pushing for the penalty. New Zealand have to be careful they don't lie on too long, but Great Britain are trying to slow New Zealand down as well, so it's got to work both ways.
Harris to Betts. Crossfield taken by Iro. Wrestled into the turf. Sculthorpe at dummy half. Now it's Broadbent to Powell. Did well to control that pass. It wasn't a good one. Sullivan at dummy half, having a run on his own. Crunch there by Pongia. Fifth tackle. Goulding shot at a one-pointer. It's a waved away. Not a bad option. And he knows he missed a golden opportunity there.
Yes, he had no pressure on him whatsoever. Probably could have gone another 5 or so yards, but just didn't connect.
So the scoreline remains 6 points to 2, and Young is now driven back. He pops it out the back to Hoppy.
Yeah, that was great defence there from the Great Britain forwards. They'll be trying to show some authority out there now. They're a little bit fired up in this last 10 minutes going into half-time. Very important time of the game.
Smith can't get away from Radlinski, and the try scorer, Alan Hunt. Iro to the halfway mark. Kearney got it inside, picked up by Betts. Good defence by the Lions, forcing the errors down on the Kiwi attackers.
Well, Stephen Kearney, they're just looking to offload, but Great Britain know that every time he takes the ball up, he tries to offload. So they're sort of sniffing around in those passing lanes. Dennis Betts was able to come up with this one. Steve Kearney needs backup.
And it's important now that the Kiwis hold the Lions out. Getting towards half-time in the match. 4 points the difference, and the Lions in good field position again. Cunningham waits for it at dummy half. There's a replacement on there, Chris Joint. Chris Joint from St Helens in his 10th test for Great Britain.
Yes, Greg, Chris Joint has come on for Terry O'Connor.
Still the final tackle. There's the bomb by Farrell, not a bad one. Again, pressure on Barnett. This time he takes it in goal. Now the referee is saying that he carried it across the try line, so it'll be a goal-mouth dropout.
Well, that's a big call from Bill Harrigan. Obviously got some help from his touches. Let's have a look on the CRC replay now. Well, that's a great call from Billy Harrigan, because he left in the field of play.
But a good take under pressure by Barnett. Another look at it on the CRC replay. He's in the field of play when he leaps for it, carries the ball across the try line, so it's a goal-mouth dropout. Matthew Rich just showing the football to Billy Harrigan. So it's 6 points to 2. Lions over the Kiwis. Change of football.
Greg, I've been very impressed with referee Bill Harrigan. I don't know what he's been doing lately or how many games he's had. But these teams are making yards because Harrigan is keeping a good 10 metres on both sides.
I'll tell you what he has been doing. He hasn't had a haircut for a while. When I was playing, he used to have short hair.
It is 25 metres out from the Kiwi line. And a great run by Cunningham. Kieran Cunningham got rid of a couple of the Kiwi defenders. Can the New Zealand defence hold the Lions out close to half-time? Back inside to Goulding. Radlinski. Radlinski throws to dummy. To Dennis Betts. He got it down. Try to the lines. Dennis Betts. To 2. The Lions are roaring at Ericsson.
Yes, put this one down to James Goulding, though. Just have a look at Bobby Goulding, James I'll play with. Now just watch Bobby Goulding. He skirts around for the second time. He's been a real little menace in there, causing the Kiwis so many problems. And this guy here, well, this is his home ground. He knows it so well. He'd be that happy to score a try. But there he is, Bobby, skirts around. Great little player and really got the Kiwis defence on the back foot. Dennis Betts has had a fine game out there in the first half, been backing up well. He's having a tremendous game.
Yeah, started earlier on with a great run out of dummy half, but then we see Chris Radlinski turning the ball inside to Dennis Betts. Good power, stays alive, great try.
Dennis Betts, 28th Test match for Great Britain. Will be returning to the Warriors in 97. Goulding, 1 from 1 so far. Struck it well, but this time he has pushed it wide. Yes, out to the right, no goal. So the scoreline remains 10 points to 2. Great Britain over New Zealand. Brent Todd, it was such an important time for the New Zealanders just before half-time to try and hold the Lions out.
Well, it is a very important time, that 10 minutes before half-time and also the first 10 after half-time. So it's a bit sad for New Zealand, but their defence has been so strong. You see that little halfback, Bobby Goulding, he's having a tremendous game.
Goulding kicks off. Ridge out to Joe Vangata. So replacement on for New Zealand now. 15, Joe Vangata, his 3rd Test appearance. Pongia.
Yes, Grant Young is off and Joe Vangata on.
So Grant Young deserves a bit of a spell there. He dropped that pass earlier on, which could be put down to fatigue. Frank Endicott working the interchange now.
Yeah, Joe Vangata is an impact player too. He'll be very important this last 5 minutes because he'll take 2 or 3 defenders in with him, can offload a ball and maybe create some holes out wide. But looks as though Great Britain just slowly starting to get on top of New Zealand in the forwards. This man here, though, Quinton Pongia, has been working very, very hard for the New Zealand side.
Now it's Namu. Bobby Goulding chasing hard. Matthew Ridge got the kick in on the left foot. Not a bad kick either. Good bounce over on the far side. But Alan Hunt picks it up. 10 out from his own line. Taken by Bunga and also Blackmore. Spruce. Yes, it had too many opportunities. Fine attacking player, give it a bit of room to move. Farrell, hasn't he had a good first half as well, the young captain?
The Great Britain forwards are angling in behind the markers in the ruck there. You see another great young run from their hooker. But there are a few gaps right in behind the ruck. You see the 2 markers on the Kiwis in front. They're running those angles in behind those steps, and there goes Dennis Betts again. They know there's a few gaps there.
That's right, Brett. The Kiwis, whilst they have a very strong and physical defence, they're often getting left on the ground. They must get up first before the dummy half has a chance to run.
Both teams have had to work pretty hard in this opening 40. As Ruben Wiki gets ready to come on and replace Tyron Smith. Tackles made. New Zealand have had to make 113 compared to Great Britain's 115. Nothing much in that. Ridge moved to the sideline for something. He's back on the field to play.
Yes, he'll be getting a few instructions from Frank, but I think Ruben Wiki is a great player to bring on because he is so solid in defence.
Number of dummy half. Ruben Wiki. Ball was touched by Great Britain, but he knocked it on, so the scrum will pack down.
Quinton Pongia taking the ball up strong, looking to bump and turn, and the ball just getting knocked out of Sidira's hands.
Timu. 10 from halfway. Hoppy. Now it's Namu. Looking for runners. He finds Jones. The halfback has to cut back in field. He's 5 from halfway. Looking at Tyron Smith now with the ice pack on his left knee.
What's the news down there, Dwayne, on his leg?
Well, it doesn't look too good. He's got a bit of ice on it, and, you know, it could be just a bit of trouble around the tendons there. I didn't know too much about those knees, Toddy.
Have you got any legs?
I didn't even know I had a hamstring, mate.
Join the club.
Final tackle on the way.
And I hope it's not serious to Tyron because he's had a fine first half.
Rich kicking for the corner. And finding touch. Half a metre from the try line. So the scrum will pack down 10 metres out from the lines. Try line and 20 metres in.
Yes, that's a great kick from Matthew Rich there. Little pressure put on from Bobby Goulding, but Matthew placed that one, and that's what they've got to do. Force Great Britain right back down that end.
Ridge in his 20th Test match. Big shove by the New Zealanders, but Goulding comes away with it for the Lions. 10 points to 2. Chris Joint plays it. Now this is Paul Broadbent from the Sheffield Eagles Club. No doubt about it, the Lions have done their homework on the New Zealand side, and I guess this man here has been able to tell Coach Phil Larder quite a bit about him. Dennis Betts playing against many of his Warriors teammates. Ridge has to turn, pick it up on the 20-metre mark. New Zealand end of the field.
Yeah, I'm sure Dennis Betts will be loving it out there. Like playing in front of his home crowd too, I suppose, because most of the fans here will be Warriors fans.
Well, one of the key things they're doing is putting pressure on Matthew Ridge's kicking game. And even though he is getting the ball away on a few occasions, there is great pressure from Bobby Goulding.
Ruben Wiki, another one of the impact players on the bench. Now it's Pongia. Angle run across the face of the ruck. The halfway mark. Joe Vagana hasn't made the sort of impact he made against Papua New Guinea. The Lions forward back certainly much better on defence and attack than the Kumals. Now it's Iro showing the ball, trying to get the hands free. He has to take the tackle. Hunt and Radlinski read it pretty well. The 20-metre mark now. Namu with the step. Namu with the kick. Hoppy with the chase. Sullivan leaves it behind, and it's been kicked dead by Powell. What's the call? It's a goal mouth dropout.
Yes, nice little kick from Gene Namu. Had some pressure put on. Obviously the communication as well, because Sean Hoppy knew exactly what was happening there. Just lucky to get away with that, Great Britain.
Well, time is up in the first half. And Bill Harrigan signals that is half-time in the first test in the Lion Red 3-test series. 2 tries to none.
Your commentators once more, Brent Todd and Greg Clark.
Fine performance by Billy Harrigan in the first half. Frank Endicott saying a couple of decisions going against the New Zealanders. But all in all, he's kept the 2 teams apart. And Ridge kicks off, gets things underway. Now this is Chris Joint, 19 metres out from his own line. Plenty of New Zealand defence in there early on. They'll need to keep their line intact now.
You'll find that the New Zealand side will be very, very strong early on in this first 10 minutes. Maybe trying for a little upset, but one thing that I've noticed about the Kiwis that they're not doing is those first markers, they're not chasing out on James Goulding. Now, we all know the kick's coming now on Bobby Goulding. Here it is. Look, he's got all the time in the world for Bobby to put the kick in.
And he finds touch. So a good, steady start to the second half by the Great Britain Lions. And Goulding in his 12th test for Great Britain, playing a starring role, dictating terms out there.
Yes, Greg, the word from the Great Britain changing room. Phil Larder very happy with his side, but saying the game is far from over. He wants his players to tighten up on the inside balls. He believes the Kiwis will try to take them on up the middle of the ruck.
Jones waits for the dummy half. Ruben Wiki.
You must remember with this Great Britain side, it's been a very, very long season for them because coming off their winter and then going into a Super League summer, so that a lot of these guys may have played up to 60 games on the trot, so I just wonder how long they last. Maybe that will pay.
Well, they had to make 140 tackles in that first half compared to New Zealand's 123. Kearney, 5 from halfway. Now it's Rich, he got the kick in, there were chasers bearing down on him again. Spruce picks it up in goal.
Yes, once again, Bobby Goulding just chasing out, just sprinting out on Matthew Rich, just trying to put some pressure on, but that's a good chase from the Kiwi side.
Alan Hunt, one of the try scorers of the first half. Paul Sculthorpe. The crowd getting behind this New Zealand side. Farrell. Billy Harrigan is sending one of the New Zealanders to the blood bin. It's Quentin Pongia, I think.
Yeah, Grant Young has gone on for Quentin Pongia for the moment.
Now it's Betts. Betts got through some pretty ordinary defence. Taken from behind by Joe Vangana. Good run by Betts, 10 from halfway. Goulding. He makes it to the halfway line.
Yes, Dennis Betts there ranging out wide. Some poor defence from Ruben Wiki and Richie Blackmore.
Now it's Barnett. So plenty of work for the New Zealanders to do in this set. Grant Young is on the 30-metre mark. Eru is waiting for it. Now it's Namu. Out to Wiki. Such a strong player, Wiki. Plenty of upper body strength. Iro, short ball. Blackmore. Now it's Hoppy. Forced to come back in field. Couldn't get away from Broadbent. The front row did well to get across there and tackle the winger. Now it's Blackmore getting the fend, and now the pass. Kearney pops it inside. It's been touched by a line. No, it was knocked on. So some scrappy play there as the New Zealanders trying to force the pass on the short side.
And once again, we see Steve Kearney looking to offload, but no one really backing him up. Must be getting pretty frustrated out there because he always shows the ball, Stephen, and looks for players to run off him.
Goulding puts it in, takes it out. Harris. Taken by Timo underneath. Over the top was Blackmore.
Great Britain just trying to use the sidelines well. They spread the ball from one side to the other, trying to move the big Kiwi forwards around. Here we go again, out wide.
It's Farrell. Kearney underneath. Eru over the top. Well, they're full of running the Great Britain forward pack.
Yes, they just keep wrapping the same way. It makes it very easy because everybody knows what's happening. And they look for that little call from Goulding to tell them which way they're going to go on the third or fourth tackle.
Joint plays it. Goulding. Rubber kick and finds touch. Hoppy couldn't do much with that kick. With plenty of power behind the grubber kick, finding touch.
Yes, Goulding just looking down the blind side there, and the defence not moving up on him. Nice tackle from Steve Kearney. He's a tough customer though, Goulding. He'll get up from that.
10 points to 2. Great Britain over New Zealand. First of 3 tests. We're at Palmerston North next Friday night, New Zealand time. Ridge looking for a bit of urgency.
Yes, Greg, it's very important that the Kiwis complete this set of 6 and find themselves either at the end of a good kick or else they must make these yards and penetrate some holes.
Eru picks up 8 or 9 metres out of dummy half. Sculthorpe and also Cunningham read it pretty well. Now it's Iro. Dummies, gets it out to Barnett. Nowhere for him to go. He has to take the tackle a couple of metres inside Great Britain territory. Now here's Bobby Goulding charging out again, putting the pressure on the kickers. Namu gets it in, and it is Hunt that picks it up. 10 out from his own line. The chasers are there. On the CRC replay, look at Goulding charging through there. He's been doing it all night, and it's been very effective. And now the Kiwis have been penalised for stripping the ball. And Farrell kicks for touch. So they're a couple of metres inside New Zealand territory.
Well, Great Britain playing a very professional game now. They're just hitting it up, nothing fancy. Trying to milk the odd penalty. They're getting away with it too. They don't have to play catch-up football. New Zealand do. They're the ones who've got to push the pass.
Short ball to Betts, charging onto it. The gap soon closed though. But again, it's the Great Britain Lions in pretty good field position.
I'm just wondering whether we'll see Bobby Goulding line up for another field goal attempt.
Another penalty goes to Great Britain. Maybe it'll be a shot at goal. Goulding looks to his skipper. Grant Young looks to be the man penalised.
Yes, on the third tackle. Great tackle from Young, but went on with it. You see the Great Britain front row trying to get up to play the ball.
Well, that's a real shame for Grant Young. He's had a well of the series against PNG, and he's come out and started this game strong. He really is a player in the mould the Kiwis need.
Now it's Bobby Goulding. A little over 20 metres out and about 12 metres in from touch. Well within his kicking range. Been a lot of talk about the Great Britain tourists having trouble adapting to the balls used down here in New Zealand. To 2, trying to stretch the lead to 10 points. It's there, just stuck in. Great Britain 12, New Zealand 2. Brent, that gives them even more confidence.
Well, it just means that they can just play controlled football, where New Zealand are the ones who have to catch up and really take all the risks out there. And sometimes you can be made to pay because you look to push the pass.
Well, confidence is the key word, and you know that.
So another restart by the Lions. And Vangana.
New Zealand have to look for now as they strict play the balls, maybe try and get that penalty.
Both sides have had to do about the same amount of tackling, 165 to 163. But it's the Lions with the advantage on the scoreboard. They lead by 10.
One thing Great Britain are also doing is playing a compressed defence. Really, they're snuffing New Zealand out around the middle, so it's got to be on out wide.
Now it's Hoppy cutting back infield, but the cover got across there. Darryl Powell wrapped him up, ball and all. Namu out to Ridge. Ridge, there's the kick. No real pressure on Alan Hunt, though. And he'll be tackled about 12 out from his own line, right in front of the uprights. It is here that the Kiwis need to force the mistake. Paul Sculthorpe runs out of dummy half. The skipper. Did he lose the ball in there? No one picked it up. Chris Joint. Goulding. Now it's Betts, and they put it through the hands. Harris. You haven't seen much of Yeston Harris. The program describes him as being the new Welsh wizard, taking over from Jonathan Davis. Up over halfway they go. That's the front rower, Paul Broadbent, the Sheffield Eagle. Now Goulding is there. He doesn't have the same amount of pressure on him that the Kiwi kickers have. And Matthew Ridge will have a bit of work to do to get out of his own in-goal area. He does it. Ran into Daryl Powell there and may have copped a knock. Yes, Ridge is down in back play.
Yes, he ran right into the knee. Just have a look at Matthew Ridge. A little bit of pressure put on. 3 Great Britain players coming in on him. Now just watch where his head hits. Well, maybe it was in his back. Tough customer though, Matthew. He will get up from that.
Penalty to New Zealand. Holding down in the tackle. So Harrigan has been very consistent tonight.
Yeah, that's one thing. If you work hard for play the ball, players are lying over you, Harrigan will give you the penalty. You see Grant Young on the CRC replay there, working hard.
Penalties going New Zealand's way, 4-3. They're playing too much of their football inside their own half. Now it's Kearney.
That is a sign of relief for the Kiwis to get that penalty. Their heads have been down, and it is a bit quiet here on the sideline.
Blackmore. Very committed defence by the Lions. Young, out of one. Looking to get the pass away. Got it away to Eru. To Temu. John Temu. 39 metres out from the line. Still a couple of tackles remaining as Rich calls for the quick play the ball. Now it's Stacey Jones kicking in behind the line, straight into the arms of Bobby Goulding.
Wow, Bobby Goulding. He read that one so well, didn't he? Stacey looking for the little chip kick because he's got a great little option in there, Stacey Jones. Let's have a look at the CRC replay. Tries to get it past, but you do not have to get out of a player's road if he runs into you. Bobby Goulding read it well.
Terry O'Connor is on, and Paul Broadbent off for Great Britain, and Quentin Pongia about to go back on for the Kiwis.
And now it's the Lions. Through Farrell to Betts. Inside pass to Powell. .29 metres out from the line. They go the short side. Broadbent got it over to Sullivan. Sullivan taken. 10 out from the line. Now it's Goulding, the playmaker, kicking across the line. Of work for them in the first half. And Barnett has it with a bit of room to move. He's got Tony Oro on the inside. It's Barnett trying to get past Bruce. He does it. Can't get away from Hunt. The Great Britain line scrambling back onside. Now it's Oro. Long ball to Temu. Temu. 1-on-1. Taken 5 metres out. They want the quick play the ball. Ridge at dummy half. Now it goes to Jones. Jones, Hoppy, turning, trying to get through the tackle of Chris Joint and also Bobby Goulding. Right in front of the uprights. Eru. The Kiwis looking for their first try. Namu. Kearney. What a tackle by Powell. Ball and all. Harris was in there underneath. They keep working to the blind. There's a kick in behind the line and beats everybody. Into touch, in goal. The Lions survive the onslaught. They continue to lead by 12 points to 2.
Well, great defence from the Lions there. So much pressure put on them, but Blackmore just couldn't connect.
And while all that was happening, Stuart Spruce is badly injured. He's really in naughty land at the moment. He's leaving the field, and coming on is number 16.
Keith Senior from the Sheffield Eagles. So Spruce in the blood bin.
Well, this is where New Zealand really need a big hit, try and upset the ball, try and knock the ball out of Great Britain.
Now it's Farrell just settling things down. Sculthorpe ducked under a high shot. And the referee is going to penalise the New Zealanders now. There was a hand in the play of the ball, and what they have done is they've allowed Great Britain off the hook a bit, but Great Britain have made a mess of that kick. And Jones picks it up, 12 out from the line, so they were very quick to try and take the kick, and it didn't come off. They couldn't find touch. There's a hand in there, yeah, from Sideru, but New Zealand have it.
Well, a real let-off there for New Zealand on that penalty. Sideru giving away a bad penalty, but really Great Britain are playing so well, they're defending well, and they're scrambling in defence.
Tony Iro on the bench and Logan Swan on.
What a moment for Logan Swan. 20 years of age, making his debut territory. 53 for New Zealand. 47 to Great Britain, but they have the lead on the scoreboard. Possession, nothing much in that statistic. The kick goes in from the New Zealanders. And cleaning up back there is Sullivan.
Yeah, that's a great kick in there for New Zealand. They've forced Great Britain right back in their own half. That's the worst position for the big front rows to run back and then work the ball out from.
Bradlinski. Now this is the freshman, senior, taken by Wiki.
Very
Also
good.
Timu.
With 23 minutes in the match left to go. A very crucial decision by Frank Endicott to bring on Logan Swan. You see how he handles it at this stage of the game.
Good strong run and good work by O'Connor to keep the ball alive. Cunningham plays it a metre inside New Zealand territory. Final tackle coming up. And Goulding looking for the touchline again and finding it. 22 metres out from the New Zealand line.
Bobby Goulding, he just complained to the referee there. He's actually got a bit of a late knock after he kicked the ball. He'll be doing everything he can to try and upset the Kiwis. As we have a look at their bench there, Mark Ellis, I think he's one player who should be injected into this game.
So again, it's New Zealand inside their own 20. Matthew Ridge. Jones waiting for it at dummy half. Here's the new man, the young man, Logan Swan. Played for the New Zealand 13 on Tuesday against the Great Britain Lions midweek team. Blackmore taking a bit of stopping over on the far side. Now it's Namu. Jones, long ball to Ridge. Ridge to Timu. Timu, angled run on the inside. He's got players with him. John Timu, Stacey Jones. What a tackle. Chris Radlinski and Jones tried to get up, look for the quick play of the ball. There's a penalty to New Zealand, holding down in the tackle. Right in front of the post. A gift 2 points for Matthew Ridge.
Yeah, Stacey Jones there backing up well. Now he went, well, there was a knock on, but he was held down trying to play it. He looked for the quick tap, but Billy stopped him.
Well, Matthew Ridge has had a look over to the sideline, and he's got the call from the sideline to take the 2 points. Interesting decision.
On the CRC replay, great run, Timu.
Yeah, it all started from John Timu. He looked inside. He had the players backing him up. Out wide, they're just starting to catch Great Britain because Great Britain are playing a real compressed defence, so there are gaps out wide.
That looked to be a knock-on to me.
But he was trying to get up to play the ball, looking for that quick play the ball.
Ridge puts it down the middle, so they have another 2 points. It's an 8-point ball game now. Great Britain 12, New Zealand 4. This match now. New Zealand really need to be the next side to score. Certainly not out of their reach at this stage. Who will finish the strongest? The $6 million question at Ericsson Stadium tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be here to watch it, and we'll keep you tuned. It's a great game. What a finish. Kiwis are coming on strong.
Sets of 6. New Zealand have completed 15, the Lions 17. And a very professional performance by the Lions tonight. They've done their homework, no doubt about it.
And their defence is like, I think, maybe their coach has been watching Manly, because Manly, in that final, in the Optus Cup, were very, very strong. And I think Great Britain have modelled themselves off them, because it's very, very hard to break, isn't it?
Goulding came off Logan Swan. Picked up by Great Britain. Sculthorpe with the kick ahead. The chase is on. Barnett being towed through by Goulding and into touch in goal, so we'll have a restart. Back on the 20-metre mark. 12 points to 4.
Yeah, let's have a look here on the CRC replay. I just wonder whether that player was taken out, not by Matthew Ridge, but by someone else in the New Zealand camp.
So the first tackle, now the second for the New Zealanders. Short ball inside to Vangana. Vangana toured Great Britain with the junior Kiwis 3 years ago as the senior Kiwis were dealt that 3-0 loss in the series by the Lions. Now it's Kearney. 5 metres inside the Lions territory. Jones having a run on his own, Stacey Jones. Now he leaks up, but it's been touched by Great Britain. The tackle count starts again, and Swan will play it. 35 metres out, Ridge at dummy half. Now it's Pongia, back from the blood bin. Vangana. Big Joe takes them on. Can't penetrate the defence, though. O'Connor and Betts were there. Namu. 10 out. The crowd getting behind the Kiwis now. Kearney looked on the inside. There was nobody there. Jones. Namu trying to step his way through. Again, it's Blackmore being smothered by Powell, but he kept the ball alive. And Jones gets it out the back door. Now it's Pongia. They're going backwards. Who's going to penetrate? Wiki is smothered in there by Keith Senior. Final tackle coming up. Namu kicking in behind the line. Alan Hunt is back there covering it, and it's into touch. Alan Hunt got there first. It'll be a restart from the goal mouth.
Well, I just wonder how long Great Britain can hold out here. Tremendous effort in defence by the Great Britain side. So much pressure being put on by the Kiwis. Let's have a look here, though. No, they're just not getting there, so New Zealand get another crack at it.
12-4. Bobby Goulding. The drop kick from between the sticks. Kiwis allowed to bounce, and Pongia eventually cleans it up, takes the tackle 35 metres out from the line. Now it is Swan on debut. Eru waiting for it. Vangana. Good field position for the Kiwis now. Namu looking for the runners. Ridge is up from fullback. Matthew Ridge for the gap. Into touch. Oh, so close, but desperation from the Great Britain line. The defensive line, it was Chris Radlinski that got across as Ridge was heading for the try line.
Wow, great defence from Great Britain. They just never say die, this Great Britain side. Matthew looked like a certain try. Oh.
So Bobby Goulding will get the feed into the scrum. Referee has called time off, waiting to send someone to the blood bin, and I think it will be Joe Vangana. So 8 points the difference here as we wait for the player to return from the blood bin.
Yeah, Grant Young has come on.
So the big front rowers, a recent signing for the Warriors, Grant Young, back into this match.
Well, if we thought the pace of this game was going to slow down, we had to think again, because it's just been tremendous pace out there, and the hits that are going in, as we have a look at Big Joe's eye, slight cut to it, maybe get a couple of stitches, just shows you how physical it is out there. But both sides don't want to give up.
17 warming up for the Lions. Adrian Morley from Leeds about to make his Great Britain Test debut. There's a kick by Radlinski. Not a good one, though. Into touch on the full.
Yes, that could be a turning point, really, for New Zealand. Great attacking opportunity now.
Paul Skelthorpe has come off, and number 17, Adrian Morley, gets his first taste of this match tonight. And we can tell you also their fullback, Stu Spruce, has gone off and is having his ear stitched. It was a really big cut.
Matthew Ridge on the 10-metre mark, just inside the Lions territory, and it's Blackmore out wide. New Zealand need to be the next side to score points here.
Matthew Ridge injects himself in the back line. Seems to cause Great Britain a lot of problems. Also Stacey Jones when he runs with that ball.
Here he is now, the halfback, trying to step his way through. Missed tackles. Great Britain have fallen off 12 compared to New Zealand 7, but it is the Lions with the 8-point advantage. Kearney with a good run. Looking to offload. Just couldn't free the hands. 18 metres out from the line. Now it's Jones. Namu. Timu storming onto it. John Timu. Again, the cover got across there. It was Dennis Betts on that occasion. Final tackle coming up. Stacey Jones out to Ridge. Ridge just kicking in behind the line, but it came off the knees of Radlinski, who's moved back to fullback, his regular position, or his more favoured position. And again, the Great Britain Lions defence holds on.
Yes, what about Bobby Gourding's defence there with Dennis Betts on Timu? Real try-saving stuff. He's just been everywhere today, Bobby Goulding. He really is the difference out there. Him and Betts are playing so well for Great Britain. And the whole Great Britain defence, there he is there, talking all the time, getting his forwards going forward.
Now it's Chris Joint.
You're certainly right, Toddy. Bobby Goulding has been outstanding along with Kucherinsky on cover defence.
And that man, Betts, playing well.
He thinks he's playing for the Warriors. He's playing that well.
Darryl Powell. As the crowd roars, Kiwi, Kiwi. Will it lift the New Zealanders? Whatever the case is, we see another good touch finded by Great Britain. And we're in for a good series, no doubt about that.
And I'll tell you, Bobby Goulding, look at him talking there. Look at how enthusiastic he is. But Bobby Goulding will do that all day if you don't put pressure on him. Those first markers had to get in there and think to run out and put pressure on him.
Mark Ellis doing some stride outs here. I think we'll see him on in a few moments. Here he comes now.
Sean Hoppy. One of the crowd favourites here at Ericsson, the former All Black, Mark Ellis, looking to inject himself into the match. Now it's Ruben Wiki.
Well, there he goes, Mark Ellis to the big cheer of the crowd, and he's one player who can break the line, and he's very electric, very exciting player. As you see, he replaces Richie Blackmore.
Sedero at dummy half. Now it's Ridge trying to link up with these outside men. Betts has him 10 from halfway.
Well, Stacey Jones has had an industrial last 15 or 20 minutes. He's really getting involved, and the players most likely to make a break would be Barnett. So, and also a good inclusion to have Mark Ellis on the paddock. Sullivan from dummy half.
Relieving his forwards. He's a metre inside New Zealand territory. 10-2 at half-time to the Lions. It's now 12-4 to Great Britain, and Ruben Wiki driving Andy Farrell back in the tackle. Now this is O'Connor. With Broadbent and O'Connor, the two Great Britain props. Well, they came to New Zealand with without any reputations down here, but they've been in good form tonight.
And they're certainly getting reputations. They're playing well. They're just both taking the ball off hard, getting in behind the rucks. The thing is, they're working well together.
Roll away, roll out.
Goulding kicking for touch again. Well, he's been into touch finders all night. I guess it's one way of slowing things down a bit. They have the advantage by 8. And the tackles. Oh, Great Britain have had to make 248 compared to New Zealand's 236. As Logan Swan comes off after getting his first taste of international football, reserve grade to New Zealand 13 to internationals. What a year it's been for him. Now it's Stacey Jones. Mark Ellis at dummy half looking for his first touch.
And Tony Ero going on there for Logan Swan.
Of course, Bobby Goulding would be putting those little kicks in because he just knows how tired his forwards must be out there. They've worked hard, so every time he puts it in, he gets a chance to get for all them to get a breath, and he can just give them a few more instructions.
Ridge looked like he had a gap to run through, but Harris got him at the end. Now it's Tony Oro. He's had a breather on the bench. Short pass to Hoppy. Hoppy! Good step by the winger. That's the sort of stuff New Zealand needed, someone to go forward. Penalty to New Zealand. Well within kicking range, and he's been given 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Well,
He's got number 17, and that's Adrian Morley.
If he's been given 10 minutes in the sin bin, I'd be taking the tap kick. I just wonder what Matthew Ridge will do, but 13 on 12 at this stage of the game. Take the tap.
The line's down to 12 men, and that is Grant Young. He's only 5 metres out. 12 points to 4. The Lions lead now. It's Pongia. Quentin Pongia getting close to the line. Eru puts the head down. No way through. Namu. They're a little flat-footed. They go wide. The pass really didn't go the way they planned, but Timo Shaw finishes it. He's done it. What a ball game we have now. Johnny Timo gets the try for New Zealand. It's the Lions leading by 12 points to 8. The kick to come.
Yes, good spotting by Gene Namu there. He was on the outside. He called to Timu now. A beautiful face pass. Great Britain defence moved up too quick and left the gap open for John Timu, who saw it, went over for a good try. That's put New Zealand right back in this game. There's the pass from Namu. The defence just come up too quick. Still a bit of work to do. He's got a great little step though, John Timu, and very quick off the mark.
Yeah, it was a good break here from Sean Hoppy. Tony Oro turns the ball inside. Sean Hoppy collects it, puts a foot on the pedal. There he goes through the gap, stays alive, busting. Great run from Sean to set it up, and of course, a play. Adrian Worley coming over the top, holding on too long.
Yes, and I think you can say that really he set up the try there. Sean Hoppy, he's come and got involved in the game, and it's just helping the big forwards out. And what about the reaction from John Timu?
Third try in test matches for Timu after he made his debut last year. It's only his 5th test match. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldog, former All Black. Successful kick for Ridge. 2 points in it now. It is Great Britain leading by 12 points to 10. Well, Brett, who's got the most gas left in the tank?
Well, I think New Zealand have been very strong.
Now it is the Lions. Been impressive so far, and Broadbent takes the tackle. Can they go on with it now, the tourists?
Well, it's going to be hard for them with 12 men out there. They've used up a lot of petrol. They've had to defend. They've scrambled well in defence. New Zealand have broken their line quite a few times, and they've scrambled well. They've all got back and regrouped. But New Zealand look very, very strong. They look as though they're fizzing. You're right down there on the sideline, Dwayne.
Yes, mate, surely as the crowd are starting to come alive with hopes the Kiwis are getting themselves on top of this game.
Now it's Betts, tackled on the halfway mark. his own line. Line breaks. New Zealand 10. Great Britain 4. They need another one now to try and clinch this one. Pongia. The Lions defence digging deep now. Kearney. At the end of the match, we'll have our CRC New Zealand man of the match.
Richie Barnett has left the field.
Here we go with Ruben Wiki. Wiki backing himself, standing. He's about 11 metres out. Namu, out it goes to Ridge. They need to move it out wide. Ellis stepping. Mark Ellis! Couldn't get past Redlinski. Now it's Jones to Ridge stepping. Ridge trying to get across out the back door. Iro, they keep it alive. Now it's Young. Namu, Timu, John Timu. He's done it! What a try, New Zealand! They have hit the front. 14 points to 12. The game of rugby league is all about keeping the ball alive. That's what they did.
Yes, they did that, and it's about going for 80 minutes. Matthew Ridge has had a great game out there. He's been talking non-stop. He's been telling his players not to give up. And look at this, they kept the ball alive. Well, John Timu out wide. Had a lot of work to do. So evasive, isn't he? So fast. That was a great try. All set up from the forward zone down earlier on. They've played well, and they've played for 80 minutes. Can they get away with this one? It's always easy when you're on 12 men. Look at the reaction from John. He knows he might have won it for the Kiwis.
Well, the whole move started some 80 metres back and has continued on. Alan Hunt just getting left all over the place. Great try.
Look at that reaction. Timu gets a double. New Zealand look like they might get a victory to go to Palmerston North. 1-0 up in the 3-test series. Well, real disappointment for the Great Britain Lions. No doubt about it, they started as underdogs here. They did their homework and caused some real problems for New Zealand, and while the match isn't over yet, it appears they may have failed to go the distance. Ridge from out wide. Oh, beautiful kick down the middle. He puts the seal on it. 16 points to 12. The Lions need to convert and try to win it.
Let me tell you, Dave, don't write off the British Lions.
Matthew Ridge, now just 2 points behind Des White, is the greatest point-scoring machine for New Zealand in Test matches.
This is going to be an exciting 3 minutes. What New Zealand have to do, though, is give away silly penalties. Don't try and hold them down too long.
No, they can't afford to have a player off to equal up the sides to 12 each, but that sin bin in offence by the Poms will certainly cost them.
Now it's Goulding. Farrell standing wide, the long pass and a good one out to Senior. Senior brings it back inside to Hunt. Hunt across field. There's no way through there for the St Helens Flyer. 5 from halfway. The kick and chase by Harris. Who gets the bounce? Oh, nobody. It's been kept on the toe by Redlinski. Now he has it. Now he links up with Farrell. Farrell throws it into the arms of a waiting New Zealander. To the roar of the crowd.
There's that G Namu waiting there.
Namu will take plenty of time getting to his feet to play this one.
And this is where you'll see a little bit of acting. This is where the acting lessons come in from all these players.
Meanwhile, Quentin Pongia is on his way to the blood bin. Richie Barnett is still off the field. 15 goes on. Joe Bunga, quite a bit of traffic down there, Brendan.
Yeah, it's a bit like Piccadilly Circus here at the moment, but some very long faces, I can tell you, on that Great Britain bench at the moment. I think they know they've thrown this one.
Oh, we see Quinton Ponga there. He's had a fine game in the forwards.
Stephen Kearney had a fine game as well, full of running, the Warrior.
The Great Britain side have had a tremendous game out there. They've really played well. Just a little bit of class that New Zealand had in the end.
Well, if this doesn't excite the New Zealand sporting public, nothing will. We're heading to Palmerston North next Friday for the second test.
Yes.
What a cracker that's going to be.
Yes, come on down there because it will be fantastic. How fired up will the British Lions be next week?
Remember, the Kiwis haven't won a series since '94. And there's one more point. The drop goal from Matthew Ridge. He now equals Des White as the greatest point scorer for New Zealand. 132 points in test matches for Matthew Ridge.
Yes, what a comeback from the Kiwis. And this man here, he's led well all day, Matthew. And he just pulled that one out.
Yeah, what can't he do? New Zealand flags are flying. The referee has signalled timeout. Just waiting for Ridge with the restart. The Des White record has been standing for many years. It's taken Matthew Ridge to equal that fine record. Des White, one of the great fullbacks, of course, in the New Zealand jersey. 3 decades ago. Now it's Ridge. He'll take the tackle. 17 points to 12. Hoppy. This could be the last tackle in the first test. It is all over at Ericsson. The Lions couldn't hold on. They led 10 points to 2 at half-time. But the Kiwis, with 2 tries to Johnny Timu in the second half, bridged the gap and overtook them. Jubilation for New Zealand. Matthew Ridge, the captain, will be delighted with that effort. Timu got a double. What a comeback by New Zealand. They look to be down and out, but they go into the second test, leading the 3-test series 1-love. And it's full time here at Ericsson. It is New Zealand 17, Great Britain 12.
So disappointment for